Laura Carno. She is the founder of Faster Colorado, an organization that trains armed school staffers, and a fellow at the Independent Women's Forum, along with Luis Miranda. He is the former DNC communications director. Okay, Laura, Swawell wants to confiscate 15 million guns in the country. How does this square with the Second Amendment?
Yeah, and it's fine to say something like that. It will never, ever happen. What they're looking at is they want something that will tell people, I want you to be safer. But what they're proposing is something that will absolutely not make people safer. And you mentioned the president being on stage at the NRA. He had some people with him who used, two people who used AR-15s to save people's lives. And you can't say that that gun is bad, but the people who used them to protect life, they shouldn't have had them either.
Laura, let me roll this for you. You just mentioned it, and there were some harrowing stories that were related by these individuals. Stories of individuals who saved lives using their guns. Watch.
Someone started banging so hard on the door, it broke in two places. He was running towards me with a look in his eyes that I'll never forget. I shot him twice, and I held him at gunpoint until the police arrived.
I immediately entered a building, ran down a hallway, and saw a man attacking a woman in the neck and head with a large knife. I yelled. He stopped, paused for a moment, and ran at full speed toward me. At about 18 feet, I fired 3 rounds from my AR-15 carbine.
Louise, after hearing stories like that, do you support stripping society of AR-15s? It saved a life in that case.
Well, what I support is what Dana Loesch, who originally was going to be here before this scandal broke out with the NRA on the pages of the news today, had said last year, which is that mentally ill people shouldn't have guns. And if that's the position that the NRA takes, then they should support not just background checks, universal background checks, but they should also support closing the gun show loophole, which allows anyone to walk in and buy a weapon at a gun show without having the kind of screening that they should have to make sure that our kids in schools don't feel threatened or don't have to worry about somebody walking in with an AR-15 and shooting at them. I graduated from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I had family in the school the day of the shooting. I can tell you that there's no way that we can make the argument that you can't both uphold the Second Amendment and protect our kids from being the victims of AR-15s at schools. It is just not right. And even Donald Trump said so. Laura, after that shooting. He himself wanted to strengthen regulations.
Laura, I want you to react.
Yeah, I mean, we can all agree we do not want mentally ill people having access to firearms. Flat out, we agree. But if you want to bring up Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, government failed those children at every single level, all the way up to the FBI, down to the school board and the school administrators. So you can have laws, you can have safeguards, and if they're not followed, if these checks don't catch the people because of inept government people, you can't then say, let's put a bunch more laws on the books that also aren't going to be used. I agree. Kids should not fear being shot at school. Their teachers should be there to be able to protect them.
I want each of you to respond very quickly.
The local officials failed should also not be the reason that we don't have reasonable laws that guarantee that somebody who's mentally ill, who has been flagged as a threat, can't access a gun, especially an assault weapon like this, at a gun show.
I want both of you to react to this. I'll start with you, Laura. Very briefly, why do you think Democrats are staking out this position of gun confiscation, limiting? It seems that they want to limit or put guardrails up around the Second Amendment. Why politically is that a good idea? Laura, quickly.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea. We're a center-right country. People want to choose their own self-defense, and these candidates should not be in the position of choosing my self-defense for me. That's my job.
Very quickly, Luis, I got 30 seconds.
There's a reason the NRA is in a civil war right now over people who want to protect their legitimate Second Amendment rights versus those that are trying to put an extremist position that is basically just intended to protect even the illegal sale of weapons, as we saw today with Donald Trump pulling out of an agreement that is to limit illegal sales of weapons.
No. That agreement would also give that it's a UN treaty. Luis, stop. Luis, stop.
That's what happened.
Luis,
stop.
What happened,
Raymond.
I'm being civil with you. Please stop.
As am I.
That UN treaty would have barred and given international entities control over the Second Amendment in this country and the sale of weapons. That's why he's not signing on to it. I got to go. Laura,
Oliver North, of course.
Luis, thank